Hey, good morning everybody. How you doing today? That's wonderful. Glad to hear it. I mean, you know, it's good. Let's cut right to the chase, shall we? We have an old Chevy GM. What would you just call a GM? An old GM SUV here. And I say old only because, well, it's old. You can call it classic if you want. Doesn't matter. Okay, the reason why this is special today is because we get this question asked quite a bit. And that is, hey, I love that Rockford P300 one. It would be really cool if I could have two of them. Is that crazy? The answer is no. People do it all the time. Today, this guy comes in, he's got a P312. The task on hand is, you guessed it, we're installing another P312. So he's gonna have two. Now, we didn't install this one. He's from Ohio. Guess how he found us? Anyways, he's like, hey, can I add another one? We're like, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, he's like, it's really convenient. I do a lot of driving, no problem. The reason why I was thinking classic when I was talking about this car, because really it's not. I mean, they didn't change the body style much. It's because of the work that's already done inside of it. Let me show you. This brings back memories for me of winters past. So before AudioVox, Rosen, Visual Logic, all those headrest manufacturers existed, we had companies like Pioneer, Alpine, Kenwood. They just made regular old screens. And we would cut the headrests and install them. And then we'd tuck the wires through the posts here because posts were solid. So this guy has 4 Pioneer headrests. They're also in these two. And of course, he's got the DVD player down here because back in the day, you know, this was a single DIN. So you do a flip out, or you would do a, down where that cool multi-disc CD changer is, you'd put a DVD player. And these things ranged in price and performance and quality. Alpine made one that was like $1,000, the 5200 and the 5201. And then Kenwood finally came out with their flip out that had the 907 that was real popular because it was a flip out. It had DVD, it had TV tuners, it was great. Or you'd cut the dash and, like, you know, put a 10-inch screen in there and your radio down here. There was a lot of modification that went on back then. But this is cool. This reminds me, I've done a ton of these back in the day, and I've done a ton of these where I've mounted screens into the headrest. This was a daily thing. I mean, you just did it. It was lots of fun. So along with adding that woofer, just seeing this brought back a lot of nostalgia as far as what we used to do a ton of. Now you don't do that anymore. Very rarely do you cut a headrest and put a screen in it because you just buy them. And they're, again, like Pioneer and Alpine and those guys, they don't make those nice screens anymore. I mean, these things had brain boxes. Oh, it was so much work. You know, Kenwood had an 8-inch touchscreen. The thing was cool as hell, and it was huge, so it would fill up these headrests really nice. But those products are gone. They don't make them anymore. Couple things to note. It's gonna need 2 bass knobs because these things don't plug into one another, so there is gonna be 2 bass knobs. You might be able to do a Y headphone jack thingy. Honestly, I don't know. We really don't do too many of these dual combinations like that for me to have tested it. If you've done one and you've used a Y jack and successfully had it work, leave me, you know, tell me about it in the notes below. I'd love to know. You ready, Fernando?
I'm ready.
You sure?
Yeah.
What you eating?
A soup.
Soup for breakfast. Who doesn't love soup for breakfast?
Yep.
All right, as I had said, let's get booking. So anytime we do an install, we always like to sit in the area and plan our attack. What are we planning on doing? How are we gonna do it? In this case, he already has the one P300 in here, and they have the wires coming out of these floor seat hooks, which to me just seems like a bad idea because, you know, if you're locking those things in and you didn't think to pull this out of the way, boom goes the dynamite, and you know, you've capped the wire. It's not good. We don't want to do the same thing on our side as they did on this side, and honestly I don't even want to leave this. So what we've come up with, we're going to pull this out of the way it's run now. We're going to reroute it through a hole we're going to make on the panel here for both of them so that there's room so they both sit here. Also, because the RCAs are already run back here, we're going to pull those out and we're going to put a connection point behind this panel for both the RCA. So we'll run a new RCA to this, and we're going to, of course, run our RCA to our amplifier. We're going to split off the remote turn on. We're going to do that all up in a nice clean area where there's lots of room up behind the panel, and then we'll make this look a lot prettier. That way it looks more uniform. Fernando's going to go ahead and start wiring up the box, and I'm going to go ahead and start getting this car apart here, this whole panel, so that we can run our wires and do all the connections we need to do. So now that we have the panel off, and these cars, the factory amplifier, this guy right here that was still in the car, was mounted right here. This is the harness. You can tell at some point there was some form of a high level to low level that was in here, and then he T-tapped into the outputs, and then someone came along and ran this wire here, and then they used crimp caps to put it on, which that's a perfectly acceptable way of terminating two wires together. It's wire on wire, it's a good job. But the point is like, how much time does it take to remove all these T-taps? I mean, seriously, why would you leave this like this behind a panel that, like, granted, no one's ever gonna see it, but dude, take some pride, clean this crap off. What did it take you, 10 minutes to pull all these things off and tape up this harness to make it look like it doesn't look like a pile of shit? Sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up. We're gonna attach these wires into here, and we took out that factory subwoofer so we can have some room behind this panel. All right, I just wanted this, really? All right. So just like the seats being able to fold down and come out independently, now he has two independently removable subwoofer enclosures. We've gone ahead and, like I said, we rerouted the wire so that now it comes out of here, and they're both covered. Looks a lot nicer than the black tape and loom. Now underneath the hood, what we did is we went ahead and made this bracket here. He's got a 4-channel, and of course the other woofer was in there, and they were just kind of like laying here. One was screwed to this. So we went ahead and made a bracket to mount all 3 fuse holders on. So that's nice, clean, easy to see in service if need be. All right guys, there you go. If you want to add 2 P300s to your car, go right ahead. Sounds good. All right, on to the next one.